I'm Po. I'm going to teach you how to cook a nyonya, pineapple and prawn curry. There's two components to the dish. First off, we have the rempah. That's a Malaysian wet spice paste, and that's going to be the foundation for the curry. Then we have the remaining ingredients that we add to the rempah after it's been caramelised. Prawns, coconut milk, sugar, kaffir lime leaves, dried tamarind pieces, pineapple, lime, salt. So to start the rempah, we have lemongrass, belacan, candle nuts, garlic, red eschalots, galangal, dried red chillies and vegetable oil. For those who haven't worked with lemongrass before, you need to remove the dry outer layers. So don't be afraid to just peel those off. And you really only want to work with the white part. If you find like that bit is still good, the bottom half, and that maybe just the top bit needs removing, you can cut it in half and just remove some of those more fibrous layers on top. Take any dry ends off and then just slice it really thinly. Next is galangal. You can find this easily at Asian grocers. It's a rhizome that's related to the ginger family. It's beautifully fragrant and we use it a lot in nyonya cooking. All you need to do is just remove the skin. If you've not used it before, it's really quite woody. It's almost like cutting through balsa. And then you need to slice it quite thinly because it'll destroy your blender otherwise. I'd give it another rough chop. Then we have belacan, which is a dried shrimp paste. Now this stuff is a little bit funky up close, but it just adds a beautiful complexity to the flavour. So just chop that up. Next we have candle nuts. You may substitute these with macadamia nuts and these just act as a thickening agent. Just chop those up really roughly. Probably don't really have to chop them if you don't want to. In the recipe, I've asked you to use finger-sized dried red chillies, but sometimes they can be really hard to find. So what you can do is use a mixture of these fat ones, which are mild, and these little ones, which are really spicy. To deseed them, I've said to snip them with scissors, but it's just as easy just to tear them in half like this. Remove the seeds and discard them, and that's just to stop them from being too hot. After you've done that, just snip them into smaller pieces and then pour boiling water over the top. Wait for 10 minutes and then you'll get this. So you get nice softened dried chillies. Don't use fresh chillies in place of these because you're not going to get the depth of colour or flavour. The flavour's just got a nice rounded smokiness to it. The next two you'd be really familiar with. We've just got garlic and red eschalots. So just slice those up really roughly. You can pop those in the blender. And then last, the oil. And now we blend it. Oh dear, stop! And you break your blender. Poor little blender. We've got a really nice smooth paste. That's done. Now to cook the rempah, we'll just turn the stove on. Just turn that to a medium heat. And because the rempah's already got oil in it, we don't need to add any oil. Make sure you get every bit of that hardened spice paste out and just let that sit for a while until it starts to sizzle. Now you can tell the rempah's ready because it smells beautifully fragrant. There's hardly any moisture left in it, so it's very pulpy and all the oil sort of pooling around the edges. Next we add water, pineapple, kaffir lime leaves and your dried tamarind pieces. Once it's come to the boil, turn the heat down, let it simmer for 10 minutes. This has been simmering for 10 minutes. Now we add the prawns, coconut milk, salt, and sugar. Now all you have to do is bring this to the boil until the prawns are cooked through. Always taste your curry at the end, so you can check the balance is fine with the sour, sweet and salty. I think it needs a hit of lime. Perfect. And this is my nyonya, prawn and pineapple curry.